yo. Okay, welcome back. It is your boy Ron. I ain't even worried about creating a screen name tonight. I'm just going basic. And welcome to the Young Melanated Council. We like to go live every other Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And wherever else you're at in the world, that's where we're going live. As always, please like, enjoy, subscribe, share, smash the notification bell to stay in the loop of whenever we go live so you can catch us here live first. All right? All right. So I got a mouthful of pomegranates. So, I mean, whoopsies. As you can tell, I just dropped one. And they normally come out the month or the time frame of my birthday. My birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday to me. Woo, woo, woo. And turned 36. I know, right? Turned 36, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Got spoiled at my job, got spoiled at home, and I'll probably end up getting spoiled again during the weekend because it's payday, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And so, boom, just to let y'all know, too, we're also streaming on Twitch, which is the first in a long time. Going to figure out if I want to, or if we, let's say me. Give me a second. There we go. I want to talk to my other two hosts to see if we want to try to stream to Twitter/X again, or look at another platform to stream towards to kind of get the reach out there. So we will keep you guys in tune. We'll keep you guys informed as far as where we're going to stream next. But as of right now, we got YouTube and Twitch up and running. I know it's been a while. It's been a long while, but we got it up and running. I'm happy. I am so happy. So let me see if I can get that bad one real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that bad one. Mm-hmm. 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 If I could type, boom. So there we go. We're on Twitch. So if you guys are on Twitch, or if you want to pull up on us on Twitch, boom, there it is right there. Or if you're already on Twitch, but you don't know or forgot, boom, you do it there too. So that's what's been going on. To kind of give everybody a big run through from last week, if you weren't here last week, my father passed not too long ago, last month actually, to be exact, which is crazy because he passed the same week of my brother's birthday. Let that sink in. So my brother's birthday, which is toward the beginning of October, and which was a Sunday. So that same week, found out my father passed. So making plans, making preparations with my grandma, my mom, my brother, and whatnots to everybody get out there. And we decided to leave towards the end of October. And what was I going to say? And so the funeral service was on like that last Monday of October. And of course, you know, drove out there, nice little road trip. My grandma was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go on a little road trip." So like, cool, great, let's do it. So we took the road trip, took the kids sightseeing. They hated the drive, but they loved the views. They loved watching the mountains. Had a good time out in California, which was awesome, which was amazing. Hmm. Hmm. Hold on. Hmm. Boom, give me three. So yeah, so that's pretty much been it. And like I said, celebrated my birthday yesterday, turned 36. Was a blast. Had a lot of fun, especially at work because man, work was working. So if you know, you know. But if you don't know, oh my goodness. What up, Rocky? What up? What up? What up, Rockies? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Salute you. Salute you. Salute you. So, as I'm saluting everybody, of course, here's what we're gonna do. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I appreciate you. So, like we normally do, around about this time when we start streaming, is a virtual roundtable. If you guys are new to the channel, if you haven't been a while, normally what we'll do is before we even dive into the lesson, we do a little virtual roundtable slash a mental health check-in. Hey, 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 appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah. So we do a virtual mental health check-in roundtable just to kind of kick everything off. And so, of course, how's everybody doing? How's you guys' weekend? What you do over the weekend? How's work? Things of the nature. How's your mental health? So all that good stuff. Type it in the chat. And as you guys typing in the chat, I gotta bring on the guest. Okay, I gotta bring on the guest. So the guest who I'm about to bring to the stage has been a huge inspiration in a grand spanking way. Okay, so if you look at the little logo up here, right? Y'all see that logo right up here? Okay, so this young man, he inspired that logo. Yes, he inspired the logo, and so it will always, forever, will be ingrained in our memories and our hopes and our dreams and our happinesses because of this man and that logo right. Oh, I'm out the window, right there. So, man had like a big old refrigerator stocked full of food he ain't touched since like 1990, and it never went bad. But at the same time, it was still good. Be like, I'm gonna eat like a champ, or I'm gonna drink like a champ. I mean, this man had bourbon whiskey that was in there that was aged since 1880, and that's a long while. That was before distilleries was actually even invented. Okay, this man had stuff from way back when. We snipped it and said, this probably still good. I don't know. It got a little fuzziness, but I'm gonna scrape that mold off and make me a wish sandwich. All right. So this young man, has been an inspiration to all of us. If there was a strong stomach challenge, he will pass. He will win with flying colors. And he's also a gentleman. He's also a true gentleman. He'll give your girl just to take her back, to get your girl back to you again, just so he could take her back again. Mind you, only thing he's doing is getting a 3-course meal plus dessert, and even the dessert is actually not even bad. It's like legit dessert, like cake, ice cream, cookies, brownies, like all of that. So he is definitely what we call the Mr. I'm gonna snatch your girl, but I'll be so polite. I'm gonna give her right back because I really don't want her. I just want her cooking, and that's it. That's if she can cook. That's if she can cook. So, without further ado, let me bring to the virtual roundtable the one, the only, the handsome Toby. Woo, 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 woo.
What's up? Also, there might be some background. There's a TV. I'm chilling. Not in my usual abode. Oh no, that's okay. I'm chill. I'm chilling, doing my thing. How's everyone going on this fine Tuesday evening? Thank you, Ron. Always great with these introductions. This fridge, a throwback to the OG Melanated
Yes,
Council.
yes, yeah, the Toby fridge, and that's literally where that sign came from. Oh snaps! Hold on, everybody, pause. Stop what you're doing. The number one, hold on, the number one Twitch mod has just graced our presence on this fine evening. Yes, 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 yes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. The number one mod in Twitch history, right here. Mish. What's good, Mish? What's good? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're good. We are good. How are you, sir? Hey, my bad. How are you? It's been a minute. I know it's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But how
Always
are
good
you?
to see you, Chish. Always good to see you, Mish.
Again, we're good. We're just happy to see you. It's been
Yes.
a long while.
You want to put that like on it though?
Um, yeah, you can put it on, I guess. I think it's still chilling. Yeah. It-
I could just keep this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I need to plug it up.
Yeah, Kobe.
yeah. Are you
What
so
you
was that to me or were you addressing Mish saying that you haven't seen Mish in a while?
I haven't seen Mish in a while. It's been like
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
I felt that. I felt that. I felt that. Trying that last part, trying to make it to Thanksgiving. I felt that. I felt that. I work in education as a school secretary, and like it seemed like all the behaviors are coming out, all the sicknesses and illnesses is rolling out all at once, and I'm like, I'm done. Like I just want school to close for the next 2 weeks, and I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. Mm. This comment right here, Toby. I know you probably can hear me, but you should read this comment. You should definitely read this comment, Toby.
Hilarious. Tuesday's place.
I mean, it is what it is.
That is so funny. Not I mean, not completely inaccurate, but not completely inaccurate. I'll just say
Allegedly.
that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly. We trying
And
to. I know, but Toby, how you been? How you been doing?
good. I actually traveled to Boston on Saturday, so I'm in Boston at a friend's place now. Didn't bring my personal computer, which is why I'm like, oh crap. I could maybe attempt to use my company computer, but I've never done it on my new like my new job. You know, my last job I had to use my company computer all the time, but I've kind of not. I've kept the boundary sort of separate, so I'm like, you know what, my phone will work. Um, Overall though, things were good. Last 2 weeks, what did I do since last show? You had the election, you had our show, Veterans Day weekend. I kind of stayed inside. It was kind of much needed. The week after Veterans Day, I got busy with work last week. Last week got a much busier work week, so that's really what I was doing. It was just figuring out work. And like some of it was logistical stuff with work. So it was like not my actual job duties, but I had like admin stuff to do, or some of it was work, some of it was other stuff. So, but overall, I've been good. Can't complain too much. Hasn't been super eventful besides like traveling up here to Boston, and then no, probably did some concerts and parties before that. But I've been kind of slowing down a little bit, little bit, little bit.
Hmm. So, what's your definition of a little bit? Chad, thank you. Yes, it's been nice. It's been nice. I finally took my banner home, and I got my other birthday banner up on my front of my little desk and whatnot. So I'm leaving that up until Friday. Well, yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. No, you good. You good. Julia's in the chat. What's up? What's up,
Hey,
Julia?
let's go, Julia. Be Julia. It's been a long time.
So, Toby.
Yeah. What's my definition?
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, tell us your definition of what slow it down is, and then you have to give the honors. I'm giving you the honors to introduce our next host.
Well, generally speaking, just that like I mean, like not going out for Veterans Day weekend. I mean, Veterans Day was a Monday and it was a holiday. So the fact that I didn't go out at all that weekend, I just kind of stayed in. A lot of it was me catching up on some things politically. I think I did some errands at home. I don't know. I think I did some trainings. I was trying to get some trainings done for work. Got open enrollment. And so I did that open enrollment as well. That was due, I think, on Veterans Day. No, the day after, the 12th. So it was interesting. Just like getting to the end of the year and I think trying to refocus onto like work, not really as I mean, I still will go out to events and have fun. In fact, I have some friends' birthdays and stuff coming up, but I haven't been like as, you know, I don't want to say entitled, but I haven't been as like Jesus. So sorry, I've never watched Squid Games.
So focused.
I know.
Sorry,
No.
So focused on the movie, the show. I mean,
So there's some crazy stuff. I'm gonna go to this room. So there were Squid Games going on, and I've never watched the show. So there was just some interesting things happening before I was starting, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" But I am trying to get back into like my TV shows as well. That's something I'm gonna like hone in on as the year ends. Just getting back. Thank you. Appreciate you, by the way. Love it. There you go. So, but you said also there's an introduction. So,
you want to sit on that chair and put your phone on the.
Yes, I love it. I love it. All right, so let's see if I can set this up as a makeshift little thing.
Is it good?
Yeah, I just need to put this down a little bit. Oh, there we go. Nice. Appreciate it.
I'm making noise. Let me know, okay?
Okay. So, all right, this next guest, I'm actually shocked that she was here after me. She's like, I would say the definition of when it comes to being the mastermind, being prepared, being engaging, being timely. This is someone who I think is just as sharp as a tack, not like maybe the way that too soon our current president was described. She actually is sharp as a tack. She is very bright and brilliant, and I mean her humor just very, very quick-witted. Represents a different part of the country than we do, because Lord knows me and Ron be struggling out in the winter. This guest does not have those problems, so there's a little bit of envy going on, but it's okay. There's also a lot of other things going on in that state, so I'm not sure I have 100% envy. Sorry, a little bit of shade going on there. It's all love though. Let's see what else. I mean, I have a lot of good. I can make little jokes here, but this is really someone who I do respect and appreciate. And you will get to see for yourselves just how illuminating this guest is. And you can't spell illuminating without L. And so, without further ado, Ron, you can bring up the one, the only. No, I don't know what the nickname's going to show. There you go.
Thanks for the introduction, Toby. That reminded me of from Blue's Clues. Like, Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Do I even remember that? I'm done.
Mm.
Oh, I love that. Thanks, Chad. Hey, everybody. Hey, Chat. B. Julia, long time no see. I'm so glad you're here.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, thank you for the introduction.
Of course,
Toby.
it's been a while since I've gotten to do that, so that's cool. Maybe maybe. Oh, Rocky, someone was just talking about that in terms of the Squid Game thing. My friend was literally saying how like apparently there is like a real life one. Because when she went to Netflix on the categories, it was under like documentary or on reality, and she was like, "That's really effed up." If like there was like an
Yeah.
actual, if they put the actual one under reality, I was like, that would be like a really sick joke.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I think it's kind of hilarious if they did do that.
Yeah, there's
Or
like a real Squid Game.
but there is like a real one, so I don't know anything about it. But I'll have to, once I finish the show, I'll look more into it because I don't want to like end up getting anything spoiled or whatnot. But yes, old gang. Yeah, look at all these people. Everyone coming in hot early on. We in the first 30 minutes, and we're already seeing a bunch of people.
Yeah, I'm glad that if you see Mishan on Twitch,
Mhm.
where they should be.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's good. It's good. It's good that we're here on YouTube and on Twitch. That's good. Yay! So sorry I'm late. Um, life. It be life and sometimes. But fortunately, it wasn't lifing poorly. It was just lifing.
Yeah, you caught that, Julia. You caught that too, Julia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming wife. It's like no, no. Toby doesn't wife him up. He always dangles the carrot in front of them.
I'm gonna take a drink.
That's what I need to do. I had a drink out there, nothing crazy, but just a little bit of Espolón tequila.
Oh, mm, that hurt my chest.
I mean, considering that the fire alarm is beeping, I assume she's black.
Oh, wait, do you hear? Oh, I'm so dead. I actually don't even catch if that's happening. I'm gonna wait for the next interval. I mean, yeah, she is. I mean, I think this might be a relatively new place. I'm not sure when. Actually, that's what I forgot to ask was how long she lived there. But I
Oh,
because I'm thinking like this is representative of like the trope because I don't know if this is like because I mean I would say yeah though it's kind of funny. She is excuse me African um this right only this is right now. So that
you
is
good, girl?
hilarious.
Like, no need to apologize. Never apologize. I don't
Yes.
know.
With the apartment. And she came with the apartment. Also, we said ban him. Who's the ban him? LOL referring to. But yes, this is all good. This is all great. But yeah, a good friend. I haven't seen her since like actually probably over a year because I was in Boston briefly in March, but I didn't see her or most people that I know that in that visit. Like I saw a handful of people, but no, this is the first time I've gone to see her literally in a year and a half. Like that's actually crazy to think about that. I moved out of Boston last year, April, like May 1st. Only came back to Boston once. Like not once, but I came a year later in March. So that was March of this year. I just heard the beep.
Oh,
But it was so subtle. Like I really wasn't even catching it happening. That's so funny. But like I said, L is sharp. Sharp as attack. He's very observant.
That's true. Thank you. Like when you were
Big
saying
fan.
sharp as attack, I was like, okay. But now, yeah, you're right. You proved your point. Or I proved your point.
Man. Let's call her L. And that's just a coincidence that her name starts with an L.
It's a good letter to start with.
Not all of us can only have one letter in our names. Like you. Literal government name is just L. And I'm like, how did you make that happen? No, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be a nightmare if that's the case. Like I've heard of people whose names are just like literally one letter, and like when they like try to fill out like government papers or like things online, it's like, oh, you have to put in more characters, and it's like that's literally their name though.
Jeez. Yeah.
So despite the issues with my, I shouldn't say issues, but just like the annoyances rather with my actual name, I am glad that it is more than one letter.
Yes. To your comment though, Rocky. So I was in the living room earlier because I was watching Squid Game right before I got onto the show, and I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm going to be live streaming and not like watching TV at the same time. But then it got a little more intense, where I'm like, oh crap, I actually don't think I can watch this, or I can't be in the room because it was like Squid Game is kind of crazy. So I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of wild right now. So I think my friend peeped that and was like, let me put you in the room, because she was even like, oh, you sure you don't want to go to the guest room? And I was like, oh no, I'll be okay. But no, I think it was a smart choice to get myself set up in this other room. Because originally I was gonna like book a hotel and do some other stuff, just like have my own space. But then I ended up being out. Not out, but I'm at my friend's place, and it's good. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm chilling. It's just been a very sort of like spontaneous, like everything that I've done, because I came to Boston on Saturday night. Like I literally drove almost 8 hours. Well, I didn't do it in one shot, but I got to here on Saturday evening, and then I like basically have been couch surfing, you know, which has been cool. It was kind of not what I fully expected, but it's worked out pretty well, and I have all my stuff that I need, so it's like I have everything that I would need in a house. So, and this is probably the fanciest because this is an actual guest room, so I can actually like just sleep here and be like, hey, it's a real bed. But I'm definitely gonna have to make sure I get a hotel. Like, so I'm probably gonna leave Thursday because I was like, tonight wouldn't make any sense because there's the stream, and I didn't think I was gonna be done early enough with like my day to even start driving back. I figured tomorrow I would leave, but I think now I might just leave Thursday. But regardless, yeah. So I'm in this little guest room, and ain't no one could see me, or ain't no one in this room with me. So, but that'd be kind of funny if my friend could literally walk over the shoulder. I mean, I sure should be cracking up if she saw some of the comments. Barack always type what she can see. Good.
I mean,
Good.
but then again, she can hear, so.
You said then again, oh, she can hear. Well, kind of. I mean, it's. I'm in the other room now, and I don't know if the TV. I actually kind of turned the TV down just so that I would have more, so that way it wouldn't be too loud in the background. But I think the TV still is on, and there's probably and there's pets. I mean, I don't think she would be hearing much of what we're saying. Either way, I'm not gonna say some wild stuff because, like I'll keep any trolling down. This is
Okay.
This is very true. No, you're 100% right. That is actually. You want? Yes, I will say it. I will mention it. I'll mention it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh my goodness. And even then, Toby, I'm like, okay, Toby, I see you. Like, I don't know who she is, but okay. I see you. I see you. Raise a glass to you, sir. Cheers.
Okay. Speaking of, I gotta get my glass.
So while Toby is getting himself ready, and as Julia is already like throwing curveball, before we answer that one, Elle, did you let us know how things were going already?
Well, so I was just traveling a lot for work like these past couple of weeks. It's
Okay.
funny because like the weeks I were out of town were just weeks we were off, like coincidentally. So both traveling for work, and this was like end of October, early into November. I went to Massachusetts and saw some coworkers,
Mhm.
and then also my sister because she lives up in Boston.
Mhm.
Then I was home for a week, and we all celebrated the election together, I guess.
There you go.
and, and then I went to Vegas for work because we had like a big, huge conference, and
Nice.
I was volunteering, and it was really cool. Like we had Viola Davis speak and Kelly Clarkson perform, and yeah, it was really cool. Like Kelly Clarkson, like she has a cool down to earth personality. Like she was just like cracking jokes and also singing at the same time, and it was a lot of fun. And it was my first time in Oh, I got to share pictures. I saw, our friend Erica Rhodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry,
What?
what conference was this you were saying?
For my job. Like we put on like a really big conference.
Mm,
Oh, that's dope.
wow.
Yeah.
At Friends.com and Beyonce says, oh, nice. I was trying to see, that's on a separate aside, but I went to the Lips event. I couldn't get in because Lord knows way too many people showed up. And I had like actual things to do after work. So, or actual like work stuff. So I couldn't really leave early to like freaking go to the Ellipse and give a reason that I'm going to try to see Kamala Harris. But I attempted, and I saw so many people. Like I found a video of me just recording any of the stuff, like the lines, and we walked for so long just to get to the back of a line that ended up not even letting us in. Such useless time. Well, I won't say it's useless time. Like it was cool, and I could hear Kamala speaking a little bit. Like if you got close enough to some of the gates, you could actually hear her. Then there's big jumbotrons, a lot of Palestine protesters around that area, but it's still pretty orderly. So that's the closest I got to any action regarding like the political stuff because no one really cares about DC or Maryland. Um, so we had a Senate race, which ended up being like single digits, which is very unusual for Maryland, but it's because it was an open seat. But anyway, like no one cares about us. Like, Virginia maybe, but like no one really cared that deeply about Virginia either. So that just was going to be zero people visiting our state. Outside of like actual like DC like just regular DC people, like that's a little bit different, like Capitol Hill and White House staffers and stuff like that. But yeah, you put on this conference though. Your job put this on, and Erica happened to be there.
Not at the conference. She lives in Vegas now.
Oh, the conference was in Vegas.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry, I missed
Yeah.
that piece in the beginning. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it was cool because like I was just like posting stories on Instagram of like being in Vegas, and like the hotel I was at, and she was like, "Oh my god, are you in Vegas right now?" Like she happened to see the story, and I'm like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Oh, we gotta like link up." I was like, oh, "Okay, sure, let's see." Like if like I had some time between, seeing Kelly Clarkson and like the end of like my volunteer shift. And so we just like went and had dinner real quick and just like talked and caught up, and it was really awesome. I'm gonna share like some pictures that we took of each other like in the Discord. I meant to share that earlier. I'm just
That's great.
terrible at sharing.
That's good. No, trust me. I feel like I've not posted so many things on any platform. I actually meant to post something in the Discord from last winter, which is really sad. But it's because there was a friend sent me a picture of him. I don't know if he was dating someone or he just lived in Taiwan for like over a month. He was just there for like what felt like 3 months. And so he showed me a picture of him with Andrew Yang, and I was like, what the heck? Because he was a guy, like, we didn't talk a lot about politics, but I could tell that he was very much like a Yang person. We were good friends from college and kind of similar fields. And so I hadn't seen him in a long time either, like since like 2017 or probably 2018. Because we hung out a little bit since I graduated, but once I moved to Boston, we never saw each other again until just a few months ago. We got to catch up, like probably like August. Probably July. So it was a little bit more than a few months. But regardless, he sent me this picture, and he said that he brought me up because he knows about the stream too. And he was like, he brought up McCoy. He was like, yeah, Melanated Council. And he was like, yeah, I remember those guys. Like, they're really smart or something. Like, I'll send the picture. I'll put it in the Discord, and I'll put the caption that my friend Mayor, what he sent me. He was like, yeah, he literally was like, yeah, I remember them. They're like really smart people. They're really awesome. And I was like, there's no way. So
That's cool, Yang.
I was like, yeah, and like, but the reason why he saw Yang was because Yang apparently hosts like these holiday parties, like kind of relatively big, like people that he knows, sometimes people that he doesn't. But if you kind of know someone, you can kind of get your way in. So, and since he was already in Taiwan, he kind of found out, and I was like, "There's no way, bro. That's so crazy." So, this is your first time seeing Erica? Elle?
Not in person. She came to Miami a few years ago.
You did mention that the Bitcoin
yeah,
thing.
and I met Yang there too, actually. Yeah, it's still on my Instagram. But yeah, like it was really cool seeing her. You know, like she's doing really well.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's good to see her and like just catch up, see what life's going on. Like she's still as nice and outgoing as ever. Like yeah, you know, just nice and just I don't know, just she just had like such like a magnetic energy. And yeah. But I told her that's like, yeah, we still do the Melanated Council, you know, the streams. I gotta send her the link actually. But yeah, it was good to see her.
Nice. Nice. Oh,
That's awesome.
that does my heart good. That does my heart good.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because when I was in California.
Let me answer Misha's question real quick. No, we didn't get into anything crazy. We just went out to dinner. We just went out to like Payway. And just like that was it. We did. That's all we did. But sorry, go on.
No, you're good. You're good. Good catch. I was gonna say, we were in California, and me and the miss we were talking. She said, "Hey," she said, "Doesn't one of your friends live out in Cali?" I was like, "I think 2 of them. Like, I know one lives in San Bernardino, and the other one, I want to say, Rocky, help me out. Like LA, but not necessarily in LA, just on the outskirts of LA." She said, "Oh, really?" Like, yeah, like, but I know I will not be able to see neither one of them just because of time restraints and this, that, and the third. She said, "Oh," she said, "you know, that probably," she said, "it sucks because you probably could have saw." I'm like, absolutely. I probably could have. Upland, Claremont. Okay, gotcha. I know I was talking to my sister, and between me, her, and my brother, we're trying to plan out to go to my dad's place, which is out in Palmdale. Oh, really? Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Because my dad, he used to live out in Palmdale. He has a house out in Palmdale. He also has an apartment somewhere in LA and whatnot. And so we're supposed to be going through his stuff and whatnot. Gil, yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Like I've already met up with L. And so 2025, Toby, you're on my hit list. Toby's on my hit list. And
Yo,
then,
I don't.
yeah,
Sorry for, but like Toby's turning a big age. In March.
yes, he is.
Like we should do something for his big age.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Say that again.
We're saying that like we gotta meet up, we gotta link up, like, and I'm saying that you're turning a big age.
Yeah, okay, so I thought that was referring to me. Yeah, yeah. I am turning a big age. It's a little crazy to think about.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
it's either
yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's either this or we're all going to Dragon Con in Atlanta, and that's
Hmm.
Labor Day weekend usually.
Oh, that's so tough. Yeah, that timing is very tough.
Oh really?
Yeah, because even like this past time in Labor Day, I ended up not because I know you floated the idea earlier, but I ended up kind
Hmm.
of having some commitments. Like 2 years ago, this was my what was it? One of my cousins, or my cousin's wife's, basically my cousin's family. There was a
Mm.
baby shower. This year was just sort of a friend who I finally met in person. Like we planned this out for so long, like it felt probably like a year, if not a little bit less, that she was coming to visit DC area on Labor Day weekend. And I ended up doing some other things I think as well. So I think because of like DC, like it's not like big with parades per se, but I'm like, man, DC actually has a lot more going on Labor Day than I realized. But depending on the timing, it could still be cool because I have the day off, obviously, for Labor Day. So logistically, it makes it easier to make a trip. Um,
Yeah, and like it doesn't have to because I think it's from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, or
mm,
Friday, Saturday, but it's always like Labor Day weekend, so it's like you could fly back home on
mm,
one of these streams around.
Dude, that's true.
That's only two.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
No,
think
we
this,
Yeah.
gotta.
yeah.
We can definitely try to make it happen. Like, and you could still do the DC parades if we come back. If you come back Sunday and you're down to go Monday, like I only need to go to a con for like one day. I'm not like
You're not all in on the.
on like the several day thing. Like if y'all are doing it, I'll do it. That's fine. Like, but you know, one day is good enough for me.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I
Because
feel
the
you.
thing is, the two of y'all met each other. I've met you once, and I've not met you yet, Ron. But
I,
the person anyway. Then the rest of the people I definitely not met.
Mm.
The person. I mean, the fact that I literally lived 2 hours from Philly is like okay. And I mean, I did mention like it ended up being like a very brief trip, but I was in Philly 2 weeks ago. But it was like not even a 24-hour turnaround, and I was there for a
Mm.
conference. So, because I think I mentioned it on the stream, but I don't think Chad was on the last stream. So I was like, yeah, I was in Philly. Sorry, I know I was there and you lived there, Chad, but the way my life was set up, and so I'm thinking of like all the people I know, not to like, I mean, people mention it, so it's not like a secret, but I'm like doxing people as we speak. It's like, you live in that state, you live in that state. But I mean, everyone talks about pretty much where they're from. So it's not crazy. As long as we're not going into like literal, you know, neighborhoods and
Like,
zip codes, then we're fine.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
so no, that could be cool. And I even mentioned the idea. I mentioned once, I was like, what if we actually did a stream one? But it's hard because Tuesdays are obviously a weeknight.
Yeah.
Unless
Like
we
we
just
would
like
have to
took
take it.
unless
Like,
it was like holiday. But holidays is tough because you're gonna be with your own family. So, but I'm like, it would be funny if one day we just literally had like a actual podcast set up where it's like the three people in a round table streaming, and it's produced almost like it doesn't have to be produced like a podcast, but it's like you do a live stream, but it looks like a podcast. I was like, that would be kind of cool if that actually happened one
Yeah, we
day.
could definitely do that. I mean, if you come down to South Florida, like, Gil and I can hook us up.
You know what? Because we're gonna be turning 5 years. Oh, just kidding. 5 years would be next year. Yeah. So I don't know. That'd be interesting. Like
That's true.
Memorial Day weekend, maybe if
Yeah.
I stay like an extra day or two and just get a cheap place, we could do something. Actually, that could be fun. Or it doesn't have to be the timing of the 5 year, but I'm just thinking of like the in person meeting stuff. This is why I love y'all in the chat. Because Gil was talking about seeing internet friends, and I don't think I have a lot of other internet friends outside of this group, to be honest. Maybe at one point I used to, but I feel like I haven't I've met people maybe through Snap or other apps, but it's kind of like people in mutual circles who just somehow we connected because of like the suggested friend feature. But it wasn't, I haven't necessarily had as many internet friends. There used to be times where I did talk to people who relatively were strangers. And, sometimes there were talks about meeting up, but then just life was life and it never happened. But no, yeah. And I was actually in LA. Well, I was in, what's that place? Anaheim for our conference 2 years ago. But I felt bad because I posted about it. And Erica was like, oh my gosh, you should have let me know. Because that's when she still lived out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, crap. Because I had thought of it too, but it got so hectic getting to that conference. And my car had just been totaled like literally not even 2 weeks earlier. Or maybe it was 3 weeks earlier. So like I also had to figure out rental car stuff, and I had to like drop my rental car off so I wouldn't get charged, of course, for the multiple days I would be gone. So I think in all that hecticness leading up, I just forgot to let her know. So that's another thing is going to Vegas. I have another friend who I also met through McCoy, but more on Facebook, like kind of the Facebook Yang sphere, and she's a Black woman as well. This girl Bianca, and we chat every now and then, but we never like met in person because he's too busy touching girls. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, my camera. Well, technically Gil's camera. The camera that lives here.
Woo!
Wait, what happened there with the camera?
Yeah, this camera.
I see it.
Like it was like y'all remember when it was working. NAB?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
What's NAB? National Association Blacks.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like national business, but that's NABA, National Association of Black, NABA or whatever, but that's different. Vegas. Well, let's grab.
Oh, let's grab.
Oh no, you're too deep.
Yeah, when I was in Vegas, first of all, like I didn't know Vegas was literally just hotels and casinos connected to one another. Like, yeah, I never knew that. I never made sense of that in movies or I don't know. So National Association Broad, like it was insanity because like the hotels are entire worlds. Like they are cities. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that, but I guess it's a good thing that we're talking about like Vegas and Andrew Yang and Erica Rhodes, even though Erica Rhodes ran as a Democrat. Andrew Yang, of course, like started the whole like Forward Party sort of thing, which was like pushing the whole like third party thing. Sorry to like segue this. Like Toby, were you saying anything else? My bad.
Oh no, I think no, I actually kind of want to hop on more. Like, keep going with your thoughts because I think there's some interesting things there in terms of Vegas and some interesting stuff in Nevada. I think I just mentioned that my one friend who's from Vegas, if I get to go to a trip there, which I do want to do a trip to Vegas, I'll have at least 2 people I know who I can see. Both of them in the Yang space, both of them Black women, both of them people I've not met in real life.
Oh, really? Both
And
of them
there's
Black women.
yeah, well, Erica and then this girl Bianca who I met on like Facebook Yang space.
Oh,
We've
okay.
kept in touch since then. We kept in touch since like Yang dropped out. So we kind of became closer friends. We're talking more, chatting more through the pandemic, 2020. Talked a bit about other stuff. We don't always talk, but we will like pick a text chain back up maybe after some months. I think actually I'm the one that needs to respond now. From like the week of the election, but just life within life. But yeah, no. So this segue. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying how like it seems like this topic comes up after every election, especially like every major election, and it's like, is there really only two choices? And like like more people are registering as independent, and less people are registering as Democrat or Republican. So it's like you would kind of think that registering, running as independent would be like, a home run, essentially. However, that's just never the case, especially when it comes to presidential elections. There are a couple of registered independents who have, like Bernie Sanders, famously so. He runs as an independent in Vermont, and has been the senator of Vermont for like, I don't know, like 150 years. But he's always ran as an independent, and, and like, so he's not a Democrat, even though when he runs for president, he usually runs as on the Democratic ticket. So like people in the Forward Party and like, and I think there are like other parties like you can kind of run like both in a way. Like, so you're part of the Forward Party, but you're registered as a Democrat, and you are a Democrat, or you could be a registered Republican, or independent as well. But 20 people have won, who are like Forward Party candidates. Yeah, no, the state definitely, like my state of Florida, it's a closed primary state, so you pretty much have to be registered if you actually want to like make a change. But if you're registered independent, you can vote on a lot of very important positions like judges and like I think it's like the superintendent. I can't remember, like the teacher position, school board, the school board position, and yeah, I was gonna say sheriff, but no. No, like you can run as an independent for sheriff, but you still got to pick the party for certain sheriffs, for certain counties. But yeah, so there's like positions like that are completely independent or nonpartisan. That's the term. That are completely nonpartisan, judges, school board, and things like that. So still vote in your primary elections, independents, if you're in a closed primary state, because you can vote on judges and things like that.
Yes.
And people like to just kind of shrug it off like it's not important. It's like, it's very important. Every branch of government is important.
No,
Yeah.
I echo that. I echo that. And even then, like I know here in the state of Michigan, we had, I think just on the ballot alone, I think we've had about the same number of independents running, just as much as like the major, like the Democrats and Republicans running. I think we had a lot more independents, a lot more third party candidates running, and it was actually good to see. Like, you know what? Like, yes, like let's make this change and let's go for it. And even then, I know for like the University of Michigan, Michigan State, um, Wayne State, those are kind of like some of the bigger name colleges here in Michigan. Um, they had a bunch of independents or third party candidates that were running. Oh, I voted for them. I voted for them because I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's see what they can do. If they can win, cool, great. And if not, still cool, great, because I still want them to know that at least somebody somewhere put in the little dark in that little bubble to give them a vote because they earned it. But even still, then too, I know here in Michigan, a lot of the candidates that do run, they have like interview questions that are posted on Ballotpedia, and so you can read their responses, see where they're going, and kind of get a feel for them before you actually vote for them. And it actually makes things a lot easier to see their train of thought, to see where they want to go, to see the direction they would like to go and head in if they get elected, and actually just get a feel for them as an individual overall. And again, a lot where there's some of the independents who kind of gave like really short answers. Absolutely, that's a huge no. Like, nah. Like, if you go run, you're gonna have to explain your position a little bit more. You're gonna have to sell me yourself, in a sense. And there was one independent. He wrote a really good explanation about why we need to bring back the manufacturing jobs here in Michigan as an independent, or why we need to what was it? Revamp our foreign policy overseas because the current one is trash. And he gave a list of reasons why it was trash. I'm like, I can ride with that. That's cool. That's great. And I'm like, you know what? I will vote for you because I get it. I get it. You may make sense here and there, but hopefully, if my vote helps you to cross over that threshold for you to get in wherever you decide to fit in, cool, great. And if not, still cool, great. I still think you're a wonderful human being. I still think that you are got a great mind as a human being, probably a fantastic person. But at the same time, you know, you gave it your best run. But it's still then, kudos to you. Kudos to you.
I mean, that's cool. Like, you're able to. It sounds like you meet this person, or you just kind of looked at their stances and kind of got to get to know them just through that.
Yes. In like the 1 year, what was it? Was it 2020? I think it was 2020.
Mm.
There was a young lady by the name of Amy E. She was running for um, representative for the state of Michigan, and she ran as an independent, but she was under like the Democrat umbrella, if that makes sense. So pretty much going back to what Elle was saying, she was ran as an independent, but she wanted to have that backing as a Democrat. And so when everything was all said and done for, I think I mentioned this before on stream too. Like when she was done, even though she lost, out of any Democrat candidate that came out of our county, she had more votes than anybody else for that same spot as a Democrat, which was huge. And then the second big thing was because of the fact that she was actually a woman who was from the county that she was trying to represent and whatnot, that actually gave her another leg up because again, most women within the county who runs for Michigan State representative for the county, they don't get nowhere close to as many votes as she got. And she kind of checked off 2-3 boxes just for that election year. And so And again, she was solid. She had a lot of good ideas. She wanted to pretty much empower um, not not the business side of agriculture, but more so the actual farmers who get up when the rooster crows, who goes down when the sun goes down. Like she wanted to give them a lot more say when it comes to supermarkets buying their produce and buying their goods and selling them, and actually get like a nice little package created for them during the off season and whatnot. And I'm like, that's cool. That's great. She wanted to partner with Republicans to actually help veterans seek mental health when mental health was slowly becoming like a good topic on not only on the national stage but also on a local stage. She was like, yes, let's do it. She actually worked with one of the Republicans who was running for the same seat, who was a retired Navy sailor, and he ran on the platform of helping veterans who are suffering through mental health issues or mental health spaces to find help and not turn to suicide, but not just open it up to the veterans, but open up to anybody who is seeking mental health and wanting to create institutions that will provide for that. And even then, he also was saying to um, employ like a social worker on the police force. So that way, rather than the police coming to the door and you're already defensive, like, oh my gosh, what did I do? You get a social worker who's pretty much escorted by a police officer to help you out, especially if you're having like a mental breakdown or if it's a mental health situation. That social worker who is designed to work with individuals like that can be there, less threatening, um, provide more services. Like he wanted to do that. I'm like, I will like for you to be a Republican, I can vouch for that because absolutely this county needs it. It needs it bad. You know, he also emphasized the fact that listen, it's not necessarily like a lot of people say that um that the county was more so like a school to prison pipeline. He was like, I want to cut that out because I understand that a lot of people who are in jail as of right now, especially within the county, it's not because they're actually selling dope. No, it's because of the fact that they're actually using drugs. I want to figure out why they're using drugs, get them help, find them resources so they can get off, get clean, and stay clean. And that way to be able to empower the community that much more. Yes, yes, Rocky, yes, yes, yes. And the county that I live in is super red and is super stupid because the dude was forward thinking. Forward thinking as a Republican, forward thinking, probably one of the most progressive Republicans I've ever ran across. And he made sense. He was like, I don't care about Trump. Trump is trash. You know, I get it. We need to protect our Second Amendment rights. He said, but the bigger issue is okay, mental health. What about our veterans? Because our veterans are pretty much falling through the cracks. I want to help them. Not only just veterans, I also want to help families who are falling through the cracks and understand, like, hey, I'm here to help you out. I'm here to do whatever is necessary. The current state rep, who's a piece of garbage, don't get me started on that. Yes, don't get me started on that person. Anyways, he won, and I'm like, how? Like, how they did not see that what's needed in this county was right there in front of them, and the only thing they worried about is pro-Trump. That's it. That's all they care about. They don't care about nothing else that's going to actually help the community at large. How is Trump going to help us? Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll wait.
You're gonna be waiting a long time.
Exactly. Exactly. And to follow the Rocky's point, like yes, like he wanted to empower them to actually be social workers to do social work. Not just in name only, but no, in the actual work. Like they go to school to do their job, and that's the one thing he wanted them to do. So yeah, I get you, Chad. Vibes over policy, I get it. I get you.
I just didn't understand the vibes. Maybe I should have like, I don't know, really listened to a podcast he was on, but it's like, I mean, he's been on TV and show business for decades. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's like his bread and butter, you know, just to like kind of just chop it up with people. People forget that.
Right.
Which person are you talking about?
Oh, Trump.
Oh, Trump. Okay, yes. At the
Mm-hmm.
top. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was actually just saw, and I didn't know this had happened, but I guess Dr. Oz got the Health and Human Services, no, the Center for Medicaid and Medicare. And I even thought, I wonder if I literally Googled something about like Dr. Oz news, like earlier today or yesterday. I just searched Dr. Oz because I was kind of curious. And so I guess at the time nothing had happened, and the news from him was just regular anodyne stuff, like whatever stuff he does with his sales or TV product stuff. While and then Herschel Walker, someone said something about him. Well, that I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but the missile defense system, whatever nonsense, Trump said. But the reason that, yeah, so I was thinking like there's a lot of personalities, some interesting personalities, vibes. I mean, at this point, it's less voting and more appointments, but it's like, wow, some interesting vibe and loyalist picks when it comes to the Trump transition, that's its own thing. That will be more in place. We can talk about that probably when the inauguration has actually come about and we know more. But it is interesting, like thinking about like independence and people. I mean, you have people who may be outsiders into the system. It's interesting what you said, Ender Buckley, about the marijuana thing. Like, I didn't know it was a Republican who helped push for that. I know an interesting case that happened in Utah was that the Mormon church actually helped unlock medical marijuana, partly because they campaigned hard against like legalization, but they were like, this is important for medical. And I think you can get some crossover support for certain issues. So it's like almost like, oh yeah, Utah also has like a governor who I think was seen as a bit more moderate. I think it was Charlie Cox, or not Charlie Cox, Spencer Cox, something. So sometimes you have to like work within the system, and hopefully you can lobby people to be somewhat more reasonable, collaborate on the issues that are important, and then the stuff that diverges just like I've been reading some op-eds or just pieces from people, like thoughts from people like Andy Bashir or others who have given their analysis about what's right or wrong with what Democrats did or what they could do. And I mean, getting a third party or independents really running is hard, and it's not something that national Democrats are going to suggest. But you can still maybe get like some independent ideas, forward thinking things going on.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even then, I mean, the reason behind the topic was I was doing my little snooping around on Twitter. I'm not calling it X, kick rocks. No, I was doing some snooping around on Twitter, and I just happened to come across Andrew Yang's page, and he was like, take a look at our winners, and like I said, it was like 20 folks from his forward party that actually won their races. Majority of them were Democrats. I will say that majority of them were Democrats, but you also had a sprinkle in Republicans who was underneath that forward party umbrella who won their races. I'm like, cool, great, awesome. There was a sprinkle of independents who won their races. Like, oh snaps, cool. We're actually onto something. And then, of course, you know, our very own Dr. Jermaine Johnson, kudos to you, sir, out of South Carolina. Yes, he won his race. And I'm like, yes, like I think looking back from 2020 up until now, where a lot of people are saying, like, especially on Twitter, they're like, oh no, a third party couldn't exist, or a third party wouldn't be able to da 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 da. And I'm kind of like, I can understand that logic, like, but then again, like, I don't know, maybe the right people needed to come together at the right time to actually get something going. You look at back on it 4 years later down the road. True,
Yeah.
true. But even still, like, the fact that it still made it on the ballot, that's still a win. Even though it didn't get enough votes to secure the win, the fact of the matter that it got on the ballot to get voted upon, that's still a win. I don't care who you are when it comes to ranked choice voting. If your state was able to get it on the ballot to get voted on, it's still a win. It's still a win. It's still a win, irregardless. And so to circle back, he been grinding and working on it for such a long time that now he's actually showing the results. And I'm just me personally, if I were to look down 4 more years down the road or 2 years down the road, I'm expecting to see that number grow a lot more, just due to the fact he already proved it could be done. It could be done. In some of these races, where I know there was one out in Colorado where a few people won their races, and especially in the counties where they were at, I know for a fact those 3 counties were very competitive because of the nature of where they sit in. And so when you think about it like that, it's like, oh snaps, they actually won in those races. I'm like, yeah, he's showing us that it can be done. He's showing it a sign that it's possible, you know. And
Yeah.
and again, it's when you think about it, if you look at the race where his candidates won in comparison to, let's say, another third party who is running for the same race, maybe not in the same state, but something similar, probably the numbers probably won't be super off, but at the same time, it is like, hey, it can be done. It can legitimately be done. And so the question is going to become for many Americans, okay, you've had this duopoly for how long now, and how well has it worked out for you? Are you willing to try something new? And even then, there's a chart that I posted too as well, where it's like from, what was it? 2020, it was the ending part was from 2023. I want to say 2003 or 2000, somewhere around there. But from at whatever rate, it showed an increase of yes, I agree, 100%, I agree. And so over time, back in 2023, you saw a huge decline in people. I think El mentioned this too before too. You see a large decline in people registering as both Democrats and Republicans, but also at that same time period, you also see this huge shift of an increase in independent voters or people registering as independents. And it goes to show that it's possible. You know, they may not get the millions of votes. They may not even get 100 million votes. They may only get like maybe 5,000 votes, but still those 5,000 votes carry weight. That's how I look at it. they carry huge weight. And so I say give them a shot. I say give them a shot. What's the worst? What's the absolute worst a third party candidate could do other than a better job than what our current duopoly is showing us?
Um, I mean, I'm all for, you know, seeing a third party candidate or an independent winning. Rocky mentioned it earlier about how like the best thing to do is like to try to um get some wins in an election, like like a local election, maybe in like a small town or a big city, whichever, and then expand
Mm-hmm.
out from there in order
Mm-hmm.
to gain traction. And I do think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, um, I do think that it's gonna be a bit controversial, but I do think like the best way to go about making change, at least you know, in the interim in our lifetimes, is to oh nice. I've heard about the Working Families Party.
Mm-hmm.
I think like for right now is kind of like since the two biggest parties are Republican and Democrat, and that's going to be like that for a while. But then again, how things are going lately, like who knows? Maybe it'll change. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Best thing to do is pretty much like infiltrate a party. Um, so like let's say like the Working Families Party, they're gaining traction, starting out small, but if they like let's say infiltrated the Democratic Party, then that could put us over the edge. Something similar happened with I want to say it was Abraham Lincoln's election because it was I think it was the Democrats, the Whig Party, and the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Whig Party was pretty big, but it wasn't that big. But like the Whig Party kind of merged into the Republican Party, which helped Lincoln to win that election. So I think, since history tends to repeat itself, um, maybe like a party like that, like the could like merge into maybe the Democratic Party to just push it somewhere over the edge. Yeah, the Whigs were dying, collapsed, Republicans picked them up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like my controversial opinion because it's like, do we need a third party or should we try to infiltrate one of the two? I'm still thinking that like Democrats should try, like, in like highly red areas and red states should just try to infiltrate the Republican Party. Because some people just vote R without really looking. And, and, then you could just kind of like win, especially like small local elections or like, state seats and then get to like get to the house and
Mm-hmm.
at least vote on things. It's like, yeah, you're a registered Republican, but like you're not gonna like quite vote like a Republican. How would someone infiltrate a party in the present? um I would say it's good. I mean, it'll be nefarious, but you know that's how you play the game. So like let's say you find someone who's young, doesn't really have too much of like a background, but like, who isn't controversial is what I mean. Like, not too much baggage, is relatively young, probably registered independent, but like leans left, or isn't registered at all, but follows politics. And you just have them, for whichever party you want them, kind of, coach them, try to make them popular, what have you, because just to be able to get enough votes in like a small district, or even somewhere a little bit bigger, because at the end of the day, how I see it as like a chessboard, and I see each of these people as just pieces on a chessboard, and these people, we pay them, like they're essentially here to vote in a certain direction, but also to represent us. I'm not saying like, oh, I want to elect these people so I can get richer. Like I'm not Elon Musk. I'm saying like we elect these people. They get 2 to 4, maybe more years of salary and health insurance and a job, while we get a good representation in Congress. So it's like, all right, this person is like, we have our demands. Like, okay, this person is pro marijuana. This person is pro abortion. This person is pro like ranked choice voting. This person is pro universal basic income, if we want, to try to implement that. And then we try to like get that person into as many places as possible. Essentially, like what the Forward Party is. I mean, I don't know if they're pro-abortion. I think they should be, but I understand it's a controversial topic, and you may not want to just have that be like under your message. For every but it's like we may not have to share everything, but it's like that's just kind of what you're doing at the end of the day. It's just to essentially be nefarious. I mean, Republicans do that with Democrats all the time. Like they would have a Democrat run in an area, and then like the Democrat would win, and then they change their party affiliation while in Congress. Like you can legally do that. Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin both did that. I think they both registered as independent because they were technically Democrats, but they sure as shit weren't acting like it. So we need to buy some lively things. We need people to get elected, whether like whichever party it is. It's just like we just need to get things organized. But it's like, what is it that we want? Because we have a lot of people who are sipping the Kool-Aid, who are lost in the sauce, who are who think that if they don't vote Republican, they will go to hell and God will banish them. There are people who are, their mind is completely like changed and affected through propaganda, which everyone's minds are to an extent. But like that's pretty much what we have to do. Like I was honestly talking to my therapist about this, not exactly this, but what I'm about to say today. Have you heard of PragerU? So PragerU is a like a channel on YouTube and maybe a website. I'm sure a website as well, but it's essentially like very right wing, like educational space. However, it's very propagandized. Like they try to minimize slavery, and they try to I don't know, just do essentially revisionist history, but like they whitewash history a lot. And no, exactly. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. So in Florida, like they allowed it for like teachers to pretty much like show videos of PragerU in the classrooms. So yeah, so like they're essentially like dumbing down students with crap like that, with No Child Left Behind, with um making it so that parents just are like stretched thin and can't really even spend any time with their kids, handing their kids tablets and cell phones so they could just shut up, and then they're watching YouTube and just learning from essentially everything that's on YouTube.
Mhm.
And this is why like people are like kids are, especially young boys, are going more towards being more right wing. There was also a study that came out from the Pew Research um, recently that 63% of um, like news influencers are men. I am not entirely sure how much is right wing, but I do know that right wing news media or just pretty much like takes a massive precedence on YouTube.
Mhm.
I remember hearing about that years ago. Whichever is like more so like more so conservative. So like they've been like they've been prepping young boys and girls, young people for well over a decade now. I could say
Mhm.
confidently. Definitely
Mhm.
longer, but well over a decade. And but it's very easy to control an uneducated mass. And it's very easy to control, manipulate an uneducated population. So, and like when I was talking, like me and my therapist were going back and forth because it's great to have a black therapist. And he was saying how, like, what I'm saying almost sounds like a conspiracy theory. And it's very easy to point what I'm saying as like a conspiracy theory. And I'm like, yeah, like what I'm saying does sound a little tinfoil hattish, like for sure. But that's what's happening,
Mhm.
you know? Like I
Mhm.
don't really know what else to like. Yeah, exactly. Right. You need a short game and a long game at the same time. And like Republicans have been playing the long game. Like they are masters of marketing. They are all in lockstep with one another. You can't tell them anything, meaning like you can't really make them think any other way because they all think like that.
Mhm.
You might hear somebody kind of skew off like a little bit or here, but they're never going to like completely get off message, if you know what I'm saying.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's hard
Mhm.
because if everybody that you look at, if like what YouTube is recommending you and like you're constantly going in and like what TikTok is recommending you, and you go out into the world and it's like you see somebody and they say something, like they act kind of shitty. It's like, oh, that reaffirms what I've been watching and hearing and listening about black people, about women, about Asian people, about this, about that. And it's like, no, that was just one person who was being, not the best. It's not because like they're Asian or like they're a woman. Like, and
Mhm.
so, but they've been like listening to this and feeding, being into, hearing this sort of information for a long time. And this is like all they know. Because a lot of English. That's what they want you to think, Mish. And they accuse left on influencing university culture. It turned progressive for the last. mostly the same, but at a younger age, it's smart. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where it's saying, like, as someone from, who's more left leaning in terms of like certain aspects, certain like radical thoughts like universal health care or just at least single payer health care, and women having bodily autonomy, and recognizing that there's more than one religion on this planet. And also, learning about Black history and women's history, which is, such radical concepts. I guess, universities were sort of pushing that. I mean, I went to Florida State. My diploma's hanging up right over there. I remember, being on campus, and there would be like a guy who would come. I don't know. It seemed like once a month, and he would just talk and start talking about, I guess, kind of like traditional family values and Christianity, and like he was a white guy, of course, and he was just like, but he had the freedom to do that, and like a bunch of students would stand around and gather in front of him, and they would just all start to question him or start to speak back and things like that. And like that's freedom of speech, though. This man had the freedom to share his beliefs, and the students had the freedom to to respond, to share their beliefs back, or try to contest or what have you. It was like it was interesting, but it was freedom. Like I don't know if that's going to continue. I don't know if it's going to be like I don't know, but it's sort of scary to think. But I mean, that's how I see university culture. It's like, you see people from like different backgrounds, different religions as you, and you're like, oh wow, that's really cool. I'll continue practicing Christianity, but I'm not, I'm not gonna like think your religion is lesser than, or your lack of religion is lesser than. You're not less of a person than I am. But it's just cool. Family values, such a sneaky right wing dog whistle. Like which values exactly? Right. Yeah. Family values. But that's the thing about marketing, and like you see these words and they don't explain it, but you fill in the gaps of what that is. Like when you actually talk to people about like what does that mean to them, some of them have similar answers, and some people have completely different answers. You might know what it looks like, but you may not be able to articulate it, and that's not an answer. The whole "I'll know it when I see it" sort of thing. Like when I ask people, it's like, "Oh, like what are you looking for in a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever?" It's like, "Oh, I'll know it when I see it." I thought that for years, and then I actually wrote it down, and I was like, "This is hard." Because you're going face to face with like what you actually like, and you're like, oh, what I thought I liked may not be what it's like I was mainly going for looks. I am not lying. I was like, oh, I'm going for looks, and I'll fill in the blanks later, but it's like, it's problematic. So I remember even like when I was on dating apps and I'd ask guys who would put alpha male in their profile. I was never into them, but I would just swipe right and just entertain it just to see what the heck they had to say. Some guys had answers. I remember one guy was saying an alpha male doesn't explain what an alpha is. But none of them had the same answer, honestly. Yet they all claim to be alpha males. I know when I see it. Okay, not that one. Yeah.
Yeah. That,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I couldn't even tell you what an alpha male is. Not even
Are men
whatever.
still saying that?
Huh?
Are men still saying that?
Not really,
Okay.
but you can tell that it's still around. You could definitely tell it's still around
Mm-hmm.
because I thought my phone going on. Because a lot of um a lot of the pause, stop, rewind, stop, play. A lot of the algorithms from various social media sites, especially YouTube for sure, they will have little recommendations as far as, oh, if you like, let's say, if you like watching Kevin Samuels, you'll probably like to watch blah 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 blah. And if it lines up with the narrative that he was talking about, whether it's an alpha male or if somebody's talking about a beta male or a sigma male or whatever.
Omicron male. I'm kidding.
Don't get me started, but they will have a lot of those recommended videos on that right hand side that you could click through, and it continues and it continues and it continues.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily hyped up about anymore, but it's still out there, you know, and it does play a lot. It does play a bigger role in the life of many kids, teenagers, young adults. There's a book that I'm reading with my school, and it talks about how um, a lot of kids, which makes perfect sense now that I'm looking at this election, how a lot of kids who kind of grew up in that 2010s, the mid to late 2010s, or the early 2010s and are pretty much like grown adults now. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say they were in middle school
In like
by the
2012.
time by 2012, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, which was like, let's say a good prime example.
Yeah.
And you count, you know, 5, 6, 7, we'll go 8 years from there. A lot of these kiddos are now old enough to vote. They've
Mm-hmm.
had smartphones since they were in middle school, going into high school, maybe some in like late elementary school, scrolling through social media, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, getting all this information. And so now, when they actually are adults, they have that freedom to do whatever they want to do. They go back to those same videos that they grew up on, and they hear people who are talking that same mindset as they grew up on. They tend to gravitate towards them, and it's like, yeah, that's a scary sight, you know. And I think Rocky said this too, where like the right wing started young. Absolutely, I agree, and it
Mm-hmm.
shows because
Mm-hmm.
again, you look at you look at the 18-year olds to 25-year olds who are in college or have some kind of college degree who voted for Trump this election cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say, okay, for kicks and giggles, how old were they when he first was in office? You do the math, and then you look at what was happening during that same time frame. A lot of stuff starts to make sense why the Republicans were targeting them at such a younger age. and how a lot of that work, I think somebody said it earlier in the chat too, where um, they're pretty much they did a short game and a long term game at the same time, and
Mhm.
so now they're actually pretty much, lack of better words, they're actually receiving the fruits of their labor. And in my honest opinion, I think it's more so of a bad fruit than a good fruit, because now they're pretty much hardwired to think a certain way, and not necessarily given that opportunity to question it, to be like, well, is this really right? Should we really be doing this? And what are the effects that's going to come about it? Because it's going to be very damaging if we continue down this route. But because of the fact they don't get a chance to have that kind of experience, nor to be able to kind of talk about it in a way where it kind of gets them to kind of think some stuff a little bit deeper, they're always going to think narrow minded, blinders on, it's only this way, nothing else. And I'm like, you're missing it. You're
Mhm.
missing it. You're missing it. And it is going, when you finally realize that you've been duped for so long, you're like, okay, this wasn't cut out of what it's supposed to be. Yeah, we've been trying to tell you that, but we just wanted for you to wait till you bumped your own head so you can realize it for your own self. So there you go.
True.
So yeah, and like I said, the book I'm reading, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and it does put a lot of stuff in perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, like Chad was pretty much speaking my mind because it's like by the time a lot of these young boys have bumped their head and started to wake up and realize they, like there's just a trail of, women like just scarred for, for life or at least a very long time, or just like trailing behind him in his past, just trying to figure things out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Mm.
get it. Oh, I get it. Like today
I
at my
mean,
job we were talking. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say like definitely like women, scar men as well. I'm not trying to do that. It's just like I don't know. It just seems like a little bit different, like how boys are primed or
Hmm.
how they're getting primed versus how girls are. I could be wrong. It's just I don't know. Like I don't know if there's been like an uptick of violence against women or if it's unfortunately the same, but there's always gonna be like, you know, I think the goal
Hmm.
should be no violence against women, no violence against anyone.
Right, right, right. And so, going back, I had a conversation with my coworkers. Mind you, majority of them are women, if not all of them are women, and just me. And so they came and like, "Hey, we got a question for you." Like, yeah, they're like, what's like, why isn't so and so like a dateable person and whatnot? What do you mean? Like, going to explain, like, I've always attracted these type of guys, and I get asked or told the reason why they don't want to go any further is because, for lack of better words, they're not my type or anything else. I'm like, okay, okay. And so the question was like, what do you think? Like, is there something wrong with me? Am I broken? I'm like, no, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. Why would you think that? Like, I'll be honest with you. I really do believe that the dating pool is full of piss water. It
Mm.
is what it is. I think the dating pool sucks, whether you're male or female. It is. And I also do believe that a lot of the men and the women, for the most part, pretty much is trash. Pretty much. And it's like, you can't get mad that they are this way because of who is influencing them to be that way. And if you think about it, and if you do research, and if you read and you scroll through, you see how it can happen. They're like, yeah, but like, what about you? Like, what about me? I'm just the one person who I'm like, nah, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. And if you don't like it, you can kick rocks because you're not gonna hold me, you're not gonna stop me. No ifs, ands, buts about it. And I told them, like, the way how I live my life is this. Like, if the missus were to take her last breath and she goes on, I still have to be able to pick up the pieces and make sure everything is still flowing as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm responsible for 3 people who need me.
Right.
And the shoe was on the other foot. If I croak and die, she has to be able to pick up the pieces and keep it moving until further notice. No
Right.
ifs, ands, buts about it, because that's the way how not only did we train each other, but that's our viewpoint, and it works. Because you can't sit up here and say, oh, I want this kind of guy, this kind of guy, this kind of guy, but you're not even at that same level that guy is on. Or I want this kind of girl, this kind of girl, this kind of girl, and you're not even on that same level where that girl is at either. So it's like,
Right.
yes. Oh man, absolutely. Like some of these parents, oh my gosh, thank you, Rocky. Some of these parents are just as garbage as their children. OMG, I believe it wholeheartedly. That's why I said that the dating pool, for those of y'all who are single, I'm sorry, I feel for y'all. I do, honestly, I do. Because it's filled with piss water, and y'all gotta navigate the piss water to actually find someone who is decent by your standards, whatever your standards are. Someone decent. They don't got to be perfect. They don't have to be like the cream of the crop. No, they just got to be a decent, civilized human being who got some kind of common sense, some kind of moral, something. Yes, Misha, you already know what it is. You already know. Yes, you already know. And so it's just, be a decent human being. You'll get further in life. I promise you will. I promise you. And all that other stuff, you ain't got to play into it. You don't got to play into it. Um, mm, I'll throw you this one, Ender. Believe it or not. Like, I kind of fall in both, okay? I kind of fall in both. Because technically, I don't necessarily have like an actual college degree. But at the same time, I have been in college. Kind of let that sink in. I don't necessarily have a degree, but I do have those, I do have college credits that's going to push me to get my degree. Life happens and all that other good stuff. I will say that much. But at the same time, that's pretty much where I'm at. Okay. I got a diploma, but my diploma, it's useless. So that doesn't even count anymore. But again, like, I kind of fall in both spaces. And even then, within those spaces, it's I wouldn't necessarily say frustrating. It's more so challenging. It's more so challenging because I come from a different point of view and a different background, but I still kind of, I want to say, kind of play both sides of the fence, but I can understand one point of view versus another point of view and still be able to have a very good conversation about it at the end. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Agreed. Agreed. I'm gonna go about how well. I might as well just go ahead and go about it like this. Agreed. And I guess you just gotta pop their bubble at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. And even then, like I could probably say this on stream. I probably should. I probably can't say this on stream. I do know that a lot of people within the city that I live in, a lot of them, um, uh-oh, a lot of them, they they're they're pro Trump, but at the same time, like yeah, they're pro Trump, pro gun, pro life, but when it comes to like indulging in marijuana, they like to do that too. Or
Mhm.
when it comes to making sure they have the latest and greatest whatever, they do that too. And even then, to have a conversation that's not necessarily involving in guns or hunting or fishing or why baseball is America's favorite sport. Was like, don't care about all that. Like, whatever. It's kind of hard to find that, especially in the city that I live in, knowing that the majority of them, that's all they know. And so when it's like, hey, have you read about this book? What do you guys think? What book? Don't read any books. Well, why not? How else do you get your source of information? How else do you deal with whatever's going on? Oh, I follow this person on YouTube, or I watch this on whatever, whatever. That's not necessarily living per se. You're watching somebody else live, but you're not necessarily living yourself. In Rocky, true point. Yes. Like, how do you, or how are you able to question things and to be able to get pushback without feeling disrespected? Can't give me a solid answer. It's always this little runaround. And so for me, it's just, I guess, an anomaly. You could say I'm not part of the matrix. I got out, but yet I still am a part of it because whoever says, yeah, you're not awake yet, like, I beg the difference. I just travel a different path. If it makes sense. And so it's just very, really, really tricky, because you don't want to offend anybody, even though it's easy to offend people nowadays. Why, I don't know, but oh well. Very easy to offend people, and also at the same time, you still want to give them respect, even though they probably deserve the utmost disrespect. Just me.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of them are. I'm not gonna hold you, Rocky. Some of them really are just dumb. Like it, it is what it is. Some of them really are. Like, where did you take science class? Like, how else are we? How else did you not have a globe in your history class or in your science class? Like, you can't tell me that you didn't have a globe when you were growing up or going to school. The globe was not a square box that was on its axis and it was tilted on the corner. Like, ain't no way. There's no way. There's no way. You couldn't tell me that. And be for real. Like, I was fine if your elementary school teacher is still alive and smack them and say, hey, yo, you failed your student, by the way. They think that the earth is flat when I know you had a big old globe somewhere in your classroom. They still think the world is flat. Can you help them? And if not, I don't know what else to tell you. I think you failed. But yeah. Yeah. And 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 I guess that's why I'm glad. Did you? Nah, Chad. It's still going through the mail. I got like, I'm still going through the naughty list. I'm hopefully I don't see you on the naughty list. I'm just telling you as it is. I hope I don't see you on the naughty list. But if I do, I'll probably make you an exception.
He says
I'll
he's been good.
probably do. You've been good.
You've been good.
We'll see. We'll see.
True.
True. And I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a good example because again, I work in education. Okay. And a lot of times if the principal or if one of our BIs, behavior interventionists, if they're not available, I get kids to sit in my office and we talk like, hey, why are you in here? What did you do to cause you to be in here? Is there anything you possibly could have done to change the outcome of what you are doing? And and a lot of times they kind of sit there, they kind of look at me like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, the reason why I'm asking you these questions is because you're not going to be in elementary school your whole life. You're going to have to grow up. And if you don't learn your mistakes now, by the time you get my age, you're going to suffer far worse consequences than what you're doing as a kid. And so, because of the fact what you did is wrong, you have the opportunity to make it right. And whether you make it right or not, that's on you. That's totally on you. That's your choice. And you have to live with that choice. And so one kid is like, well, what about me being sad? Is that a choice? Yeah, it is. You chose to be sad. Like, don't get me wrong. Is there some things that can make you sad? Absolutely. Not saying that at all. Absolutely. But how you handle that situation, totally on you. Do you want to stay in that sad situation for the rest of your life? That's your choice. Do you want to get out that situation and make the most out of it? Yes, you can. That's a choice. That's a choice. And so the back and forth, back and forth. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And so the going back and forth, like, well, what about you? Do you not have sad days? Like, yes, I do. I do. Well, do you go through tough times? Absolutely. Well, how come I don't ever see? Because I choose not to stay there. It's a choice. I choose to live a life that's happy. I choose to live a life where I can look back and say, you know what? I did the absolute best I could do. Anything else is out of my air. I choose to laugh because laughter makes light the situation. And yep, yep. Happy Tuesday.
Night,
See ya.
Chad.
Night.
Nah, Chad. Thank you for stopping by.
And again, it's like I just choose to be happy. I don't have time to sit around and mope around and be sad. Like, no. Like I have way too much life to live. And even then, like you really do have the same thing. You're just barely started living. You barely just started living. Barely started living. You still got a whole life ahead of you to experience new things. But how can you experience something if you're always have a dark cloud over your head because somebody said your Cheerios got soggy because you left them in the milk for too long? Really? It's gonna happen. It's cereal. It's supposed to get soggy. Like, yeah. I was gonna say something else, but that was gonna be too much for them. But still, y'all get the point, right? And so, having these little conversations is like, again, you have a choice. You have a choice. I know I got kids who have like mental health issues, and it's evident. And a lot of times they don't get their medicine. I'm like, okay, like, bud, you gotta understand, you don't have your medicine in your system. Cool, I get it, but you're gonna have to try really, 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 really hard to do your best to stay out of trouble. You have to try really, really hard to do your best to stay out of trouble. Well, what happens if I don't? Like, you'll probably have to come in here and see me, and we're gonna have the same conversation again. You have to try really, really hard to do your best to stay out of trouble. Really, really hard. Because I know and you don't have your medicine in your system. Okay? Okay. Like, do you get what I'm telling you? Yes. What did I tell you? I have to try really, really hard to be on my best behavior. I have to try really, really hard to focus because I know I don't have my medicine in my system. Okay, you got it, right? Right. So once you leave my office, do your best to try not to get in trouble. Okay? Okay. 15 minutes later, what happens? Mr. Marzad, yes. You got in trouble again? Yeah. All right. I'll call the principal. I'll call the one of the BIs. They'll come and take you off my hands because obviously we didn't listen. It's okay. I get it. You don't have your medicine, but still, that's not an excuse. Okay? It's not. It's not. And I get it. It's really, really hard. It's really, really hard for you to focus. I get it. You have a bunch of energy in that small body of yours. You want to do everything you want to do in like 3 seconds, but you got to try really, really hard to not let that out. Okay? Okay. Of course, principal comes. I heard. Come on. I heard. I hear what's going on. Come on. Sorry. Like, we'll try it again tomorrow. All right. All right. And there's times where they've been really, really good without it. And it shows. And I remind them, like, you didn't take your medicine today, but you've been really, really good today. Did you try really, really hard to stay out of trouble? Yeah. Okay. Let's try to keep it up.
Nice.
And they get it. They get it. And if the kids can get it at their level, at their age, what's wrong with these adults?
I think what's wrong with the adults is because they don't really have any like parental supervision anymore because they're adults, so they could, they kind of have like the freedom to do whatever they want. Then, because of a lot of things happen on the internet and the anonymity of the internet, people aren't for lack of a better word, like getting into fistfights, like getting their butt whooped.
Mm, true, true.
That's not
But
the
then
only
again,
answer. That's an answer though. That's
I get it. And even then, I'm like, if if actually just having fist fights solves some of the world's issues, I'll be okay with that. Fine, duke it out, get it all out the way. Try it again tomorrow. All right, win or lose, win or lose. Nowadays, they're like, no, I don't want to fight. I want to shoot. All right, so you shoot, you go to jail. Now you're in a 6x6 box for like, you know, possibly for the rest of your life. There goes that. What then? You just wasted your life by one bullet easily. And even then, let's just say it wasn't even aimed at the person you were shooting at. It was at an innocent bystander who just so happened to be there with their phone recording you the whole time they took one. Now you really gonna be stuck. Like, come on, just fight it out. The worst that could happen is you lose your pride. You can still get that bad boy. You lose your life, it's a wrap. You ain't getting that one back. Ain't no way. Nah. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You'll be surprised. Oh, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. And even then, like, I know I kid and joke with the missus, like, if we ever moved up to Grand Rapids, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but amateur night will be opening all across the country. If you think you are the baddest person out your school or your community, show on up. And if you want to take out your aggression on that bully that you've been having issues with, you can meet your bully in the octagon. That's a wrap. Once it's done, it's done. Once it's done, it's done. That's it. Once it's done, it's done. Ain't no get backs, ain't no lick backs. Nah, you lost your pride. Fine. You gained your pride. Fine. But after that, the next day is a whole new day. Don't even, nah. Mm-mm. Nah. True.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I do. I agree 100%.
I think it would be amazing if, like boxing or like MMA or karate or something, like some kind of martial arts, or some way to like learn how to fight was like either free or more accessible, especially for young folks, like young boys, more so. I think that would be very nice.
I agree. But then again, I mean, I don't know about anybody else's neighborhood or city, but I know where I live in. The girls, they throw down just as much as the boys do, if not more. If not more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even then, I didn't see some girls take down some boys. I'm like, for real? Like, that's what we doing today? For real? All right. Remind me not to mess with you on a bad day. I'll stay clear all the way out your way. I'll make sure of that one. I'm good. I'm totally good.
There
Totally.
was like a stupid like question, I think, going around on like the internet, like TikTok or like Twitter or whatever, or both. It was like, it's like, do you think like a professional female MMA can, if like a professional female MMA fighter can beat the average guy,
I would imagine.
mm, I know her internet's been trash and whatnot. So I'll well, Toby, you want to take a pin at it before I do?
Yeah. And wait, did she freeze or did she stop?
No, she froze. Like her internet
Oh
has
yeah,
been
I see
bad.
it. You're right. She did a crap. I was just like, yeah, I believe they would be like if you think like a Ronda Rousey. I think she's boxing, but I mean, I kind of group a lot of these things: the MMA, boxing, all this. You're like a regular guy is not surviving Ronda Rousey, or like I'm trying to think of someone who's a bit more high pro. I think there was a black professional fighter who recently won, a black woman boxer who won like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, like sometime relatively recently. She won, maybe even made history as the first black woman to win that category. Oh no, we lost her. So I think you generally know like, or yes, that. Well, I guess if the question was, can a MMA fighter beat a man? I would say yeah. I mean, I guess if the guy is a better than average fighter himself, like maybe not someone who actually professionally plays, but if he's like someone who is pretty well built, can hold his own, I don't know, maybe. But if you're a professional fighter and this is your life, even if you're a guy who knows some self defense and is well built, are you gonna survive like a trained fighter? I don't know. I didn't even know this was a debate, but I mean, stuff comes up with like, oh, could the best women athlete beat an average person? Like with the women's soccer, they'll compare them to like how maybe certain high school kids could do better. So I kind of hear that stuff in general, but I didn't know there was a specific debate about like fights. In terms of, maybe I have heard this kind of before. I'm not sure. What's your take, Ron?
Lewis, what are you gonna say
Or
something
L
else?
actually, because you since you came back.
I was gonna. It's like I was gonna say it's like okay, like what Rocky was saying, like oh, y'all are violent in nature or things like that. There's a difference between being strong and knowing how to fight. Like those are two completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the average man, it's like I don't know what the height and weight and all that of an average man is, but like violent and knowing how to fight are two different things. Because first of all, like she gets into fights on purpose. Like for her job. Like I think I've said I don't know if I said professional, but I meant like a professional MMA fighter. Like a professional MMA female fighter. This is her job. Or at least one of her jobs. And yeah, like exactly what Ender was saying. Like she's conditioned for this. She knows how to fight. She gets into fights on purpose constantly. She knows exactly pressure points, what to do. She knows how to throw bodies twice her size, 3 times her size, 4 times her size. Like she knows how to get out of grips and things like that. Like the average man will probably like underestimate her, if anything. Not to say like even if he was trying to overestimate her or what have you, like I don't know, like does the average man know how to fight? I don't think so. They may get into fights,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if they know how to fight. And also, if anything, the average man is not conditioned, does not have
There
the
we go.
conditioning to fight.
Right. Okay. So, L, while you were talking, I just did like a little search. So, the average height and weight for a 20-year-old male and older, okay, again, average, is about 5'7.5" and weighs about 200 pounds on average. On average, for a male in the United States of America. 5'7", 200 pounds.
That's heavy for someone who's 5'7". Like I'm
Yeah.
5'7".
Yeah. And so in comparison, so you put, again, average male, 5'7", 200 pounds. That's about, we'll give him 26. Okay, 26-year-old guy, 5'7", 200 pounds. Okay, maybe lifts weights every now and then. Maybe jogs or walks every now and then. Maybe.
Okay.
Put him in a ring. We'll say I won't even say Ronda Rousey. We'll put him in a ring with I'll give you the link. I'm gonna drop it. Let's see.
Oh, snap.
And let's see. This is coming from Healthline. Healthline.com. Let's see. Can I get? I want to say this is maybe about a good year, 2 years old. So it's still fairly recent. Fairly recent. So this is got the link. Copy. I feel you, Rocky. I feel you. So let's see. Healthline.com. All right, Mish. So there goes that link there as far as the average weight and height for male based upon healthline.com. Like I said, that's probably within the last few years. And even then, like you scroll down, it kind of breaks everything else down as far as weight goes, and as well as their age range. So 20 to 29, you're looking at 188, 30 to 39, you're looking at 208. So it does kind of put in perspective. And even if you don't want that one, we go to the CDC. Because we know CDC never lies, right? CDC never lies.
Never.
Never.
We have all the trust and confidence in the CDC. Just all of the trust and confidence in them post pandemic.
Let's see. CDC average height and weight for men in America. Okay. So there goes that one. Okay, so there goes those links as that one goes. So if you want to convert the height in inches, because I want to say like it's like 69 inches. So if you want to convert that, it's about again 5'7", 5'7" and a half. Right, Ender. Right. So, and again, average weight, average height and weight in America, based from the CDC, you're looking at what I was saying. And so this is back in 2021. So this is about 3 years ago, which means they could have very well updated between now and God knows when. But as of right now, for men, average height is 69 inches or 5'7". The average weight in pounds, you're looking at 199.8. We're around that up to 200 pounds. And as far as your waist size, you're looking at 40.5 inches around your waist. So give or take however you want with that piece of information. But again, do understand, again, average male in America is not super tall, nor is the average male like super skinny. Proof's in the pudding. Can't say we didn't tell you. Shout out to Cam James. But yeah, didn't say we didn't tell you. It's right there. Whatever y'all feel like y'all want to do with it, up to you guys. But boom, bring you back. Bring you back.
Yeah, my internet is. Oh, my internet is fine. StreamYard thinks my internet is bad. So,
Yeah, that I'm surprised it hasn't been happening to me, but that happened some streams ago where it would just keep, you guys would keep refreshing, like the circles would pop up, and I'm like, man, the whole thing is messing up, and it's like, no, if I follow along on YouTube, you guys would be fine, and my thing would just keep showing your guys is like buffering, but the last few streams that hasn't happened for me at all, and I guess it's been transferred over to you somehow. So I guess I passed on the virus and somehow to you, whatever this StreamYard error is. I mean, it's not really a real virus, but just the fact that it happened. And it just seems to be StreamYard. Everything else is fine, everything else loads fine, and then just StreamYard just decides to be StreamYard.
Sounds about right. I know it's getting close to that time. And Al, before we have to do what we got to do you have any final thoughts? I love it. I love it. Again, Al, final thoughts? Or are you good?
I'm good. I think we're, I guess, ready to land this plane. Well, or the plane's gonna land me since I'm gonna keep. Since the signal's so bad on my end.
Don't worry, we got you. You got co-pilots for a reason.
Yeah.
You got co-pilots for a reason. And AI, but we trust the co-pilots. We trust the co-pilots. AI, not as much. Co-pilots definitely.
I was gonna say Rocky. He made a comment of crap. It was somewhere near the end. He was saying something like, I can scroll and find it. Oh well, wonderful. I was gonna address one of the last things he said, and ask what he had meant by it, but I can't see the chat fully right now. So I would have to. Actually, you know what? Let me try this. New comments. Okay, this thing wants to stop freezing. The flying bowling plane. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. Not the CrossFitters. Not that one. Oh yeah, what was the weird beer conversation on social media you're referring to, Rocky? I don't know if that was about RFK Jr. in a bear in a park, or this is something completely separate.
But yes, the plan is landing us possibly. Though L in particular. I mean, I feel like we're all getting landed. I think my energy levels are also coming down a little bit, which is to be expected. It's 11:30, and I think I've actually gotten. Not that I always choose to go to bed early, because sometimes I just don't have a good sense. But it's becoming easier for me to go to bed earlier if I need to, which I'm actually very happy about. My body seems to be like somewhat, even though I do stay up late on some nights for sure, more on the weekend. So I think it's easier during the week to get myself to bed at a better time. So that's always a plus. Of course, I love you all here at the TMC, but my body sometimes be fighting me. Chad, respects for tapping out, because sometimes it'd be like that. Rather be in the woods with a man or a bear, or would you rather be? Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up, because I did not know what this is. I did not heard this scenario hypothetical before.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Like, I think it might have been early this year.
Actually, no. I think I did see something about this, especially if it was about like gender war stuff or like. Yeah, never mind. I think I actually have. It all of a sudden seems very familiar. But I'll look it up for sure. And yeah, good luck, Ender. That sounds important.
I remember that. Yeah. Women chose the bear.
I do remember this actually. Women choosing the bear. Yeah, I definitely have. I think because when I heard the bear, I thought it was referring to the Hulu show, which I've not watched, but I need to, because I've heard it's very good. But then it was like not even about that bear. But I think there might have been some jokes made or something. But yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, no, I definitely have seen the bear, because I think I missed the conversation, but then someone made like some kind of joke about it in recent times, and they put some kind of spin on it, and I was like, wait, there was even an original joke to all of this. So yeah, that's familiar now.
Yeah. So it is time to say our farewells and our goodbyes and our good nights and the teardrops and the broken hearts. But we will be back. I know. Sad. We will be back. We will be back. Not next week, but the following week. And actually, the next. Nice. I love it. So the next time we actually stream will be a whole new month.
Hey.
Think about that one. The next time we stream will be on a whole new month. So, with that being said, I know. Yes, night, y'all. Good night. So, without further ado, we bid you all farewell. We thank you all for swinging by. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for the laughs, the questions, the jokes, the puns, because puns are definitely intended here on this channel. All puns are welcome. The puns are safe here with us. Just understand this much. If you dish it out, just know you should be able to receive it right back, because that's what we do around here. That's exactly what we do around here. So you've been warned. You've been warned. You've been warned. Again, shout out to Mish again, #1 Twitch mod. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate for all that you do. Matter of fact, since you're on there, you should still have all the mod permissions. So share out the Discord and all the other whatevers. But the thing is, if you're on Twitch, Mish !commands gives you all the commands that's associated with the Twitch channel. Have at it. There we go.
Yay!
There we go. So again, if you guys like to follow on Twitch, if you guys have Twitch channels, I think Mish, you could do the Twitch ! Say like !TMC. That might be for !YT for YouTube, !TMC. That should bring up the link for the Twitch channel and all the good stuff. So have fun. Mish, I give you permission. Have fun on that one. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Have fun. Yes. So I'm done yapping. I'm done talking. Time to go to bed. About to be midnight.
That's right.
About to be midnight. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We will catch you guys in December. First Tuesday in December. Holy cow. All right. So we love you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
Love you too.
Yes, whoever said that, love you. Oh yes, TMs or Mish. Yes.